Hello everybody, my name is Lynette and welcome to my Zone 5 garden here in the middle of New York State. Now while most of my garden is still under snow, there has been significant snow loss, especially here in the front of the house. And that's where our major project is going to take place today. We're also going to do some Lottie proofing because she has already started digging in the garden today. But first, I want to do a little bit of warm up because I have been sitting and hibernating for the past 6 months, and I want to make sure I'm nice and stretched before I get out here and tackle our #1 project, because it's going to require a lot of bending and stretching. We are going to tackle picking up the branches from the river birch. I love my river birch trees. I love the peeling bark. I love their size. I love the shade that they cast in this area in the summer. But what I don't like is how terribly messy they are. You can see all the limbs that come down during the winter. This has all been buried underneath the snow, so we haven't been able to get out here and do any cleanup. But on this beautiful first warm day of the season with the snow receding, it's a perfect day to stretch those muscles and get into some gardening. Well, I didn't pick up everything out here because there's still quite a few sticks stuck in the snow, so we'll do a better job as the snow keeps receding. For right now, we're going to leave this pile here. Normally I would bring the gator out, we'd throw it on that and then dump it over the edge, but we can't get to the gator and we can't get to over the edge where we dump stuff. So it's just going to stay here for a little while. In the fall, when the river birch leaves fall down, I just let them stay here underneath the tree. I actually push them from the lawn into this part of the garden. They act as a nice mulch. But what I do need to do is come in here and rake them off the top of my bird's nest spruce. Because if I were to leave the leaves on here, they would smother the evergreen foliage. So in the spring, it's just one of those things. I just come in with my tiny rake and just pull off any of the matted leaves that are holding down some of the branches. Yesterday we had a little bit of a scare. We couldn't find Lottie anyplace. We had Jada, we had Maple, we had them in the house, but we couldn't find Lottie. John came in and was like, "Have you seen her? Have you seen her? Is she in here?" And I said, "No, she's not in here." The minute I turned around and I looked outside the sliding glass door, I knew exactly where she was. That little stinker, she dug a hole. She's under the deck. Unfortunately, we have some rabbits that live under the deck all winter long, and they have an entrance in a break in the lattice down here. And while the snow was all piled up and firm, Lottie couldn't get under there. There was just enough of a hole for the rabbits to get through, but she couldn't get in there. Obviously, now that the soil has thawed, she has discovered that I've blocked this one, so she dug her own entrance over here. I have 2 different kinds of edging fencing that I'm going to use. There's maybe 5 or 6 pieces right here. These are kind of thin and flimsy, a little bit heavier than a coat hanger. Really not much use to keep Lottie out of anything with those. However, I do have a plan for these. These are a little bit sturdier. They're probably, oh, I don't know, maybe a 1/4 inch kind of metal. We picked these up on clearance someplace. We picked up a whole bunch of them. Didn't know what we were going to do with them, but they have become so valuable for different things here in the garden, and they work really good at keeping Lottie out of things. A couple weeks ago, as the snow started receding along the edge of the deck here, Lottie managed to squeeze herself in there and get stuck underneath the deck, so we had to shovel her out. Therefore, I decided I needed to do something to block her from getting in and out there. Enter the cheap fencing, the really thin stuff. What I did is I bent the legs down like this, turned it this way. I then set it right on top of the deck, and then I stapled the legs down. This allowed this part to go down into the soil line where she had dug the hole to get under there, but the fence keeps her out because she can't fit through here. My plan for right now, for this side, is to use some of that heavier fencing and put that right along the edge of the deck. And then I'm going to do the same thing and place this in the hole that she dug and secure it there so that she can't get in and out of there. I'm going to use some of that cheap fencing first, set that down in there. I'm going to make sure that I have it so nobody gets their eyes poked out. And then I'm just going to kind of weave this sturdier fencing through it there to help hold it in place. I'm going to enforce it with a couple layers here, and that should hopefully deter her from at least using this same entrance hole again. And we'll just put on our to-do list to do something to repair the lattice underneath the deck. I prefer to end this video on a positive note and not dwell on the rabbit damage or the severe amount of deer damage that we've incurred in this garden this year, which in the 18 years that we've lived here, we have never had deer damage. So this is something we're going to have to address in the future. Instead, let's look at the positive. Let's go around and look at the little signs of spring that are showing up all over the garden. Underneath this row of prairie fire crab apples, the daffodils are starting to emerge. They're a little tiny now, and these daffodils are extra special to me because these belong to my mom. And I dug them up from her house and transplanted them here. And now we have over 1,000 daffodils in this one display garden. It's a nice reminder of my mom. I love you, Ma. I miss you. I'm so excited to see these little buds on my summer crush hydrangea. It's a good sign that the plant's still alive. Unfortunately, we still have some freezing cold temperatures that could knock those buds back. But it's a good sign that the plant survived the winter. I believe these are some of the tulips that I got from Walmart last year. I'm pleasantly surprised to see them coming up. And then I have one teeny tiny little snowdrop. They may not be open yet, but the hellebores have lots of buds on them. The beaver have been busy eating the branches off this little tree that they felled. Thanks so much for watching. Please be sure to share, like, and subscribe. And if you can get out in your garden, get out there and have some fun. Take care. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.